I hope today's live stream will be useful to you. Lots of interesting things coming up today. I hope you will stay with me. Here we go again. Yes, it is another English Addict coming to you live right now from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be England. Ooh. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. I hope you are feeling good today. Yes, we have made it once again towards the end of another weekend, and I am back with you once more on a very windy day. It is windy here in the UK. Quite windy, in fact. You may have noticed during the countdown, but just in case you didn't, there it is. It's windy. It also happens to be very grey and murky today. It does not feel like August. I will be honest with you, it is now supposed to be the height of summer. But today it does not feel like summer at all. It's quite cool, windy. We had some rain earlier. So needless to say, I am not outside with today's live stream. I am all comfortable and cosy in the studio. We have lots of things coming your way today. I can't begin to tell you how much stuff there is in today's live stream. By the way, for those who aren't sure who I am, who is that strange man staring at me on my computer screen? My name is Duncan. I talk about the English language. I've been doing this for ever such a long time, almost too long. 15 years on YouTube teaching English. It's true. I'm not joking. I wish I was. I wish all of this was a big joke, but it isn't. So that's what I do. I talk about English. I talk about the English language. I love English. You might say that I am an English addict. And that is the reason why I am here. And also I have a feeling that is the reason why you are here, because you love listening to live English conversation. So that is the introduction out of the way. As I mentioned a few moments ago, we have made it all the way to the end of another weekend. Yes, it's Sunday. Yes, we have made it to Sunday, and I hope your Sunday is turning out to be a fun day. I hope you are having lots of fun today. If not, I will try my best to cheer you up in the only way I know how, and that's by being here talking to you right now live from England. I just wish we had a little bit of sunshine. That would be lovely. We also have the live chat all coming up later on. A few questions to ask you. Besides the sentence game, yes, we will have the sentence game once more for those who love trying to work out what my missing words are in the sentence game. Also coming up, we are talking about tips, hints, and life hacks. I don't think in all the years I've been doing this, I don't think I've ever talked about this particular subject. So it might be something rather special in the fact that I've never talked about this before. So hints, ideas, things that can help you, things that people might suggest, as advice, perhaps. So that coming a little bit later on. We have some serious ones, and also we have some very silly ones as well. Because at the moment on YouTube, you might notice there are lots of people making videos about life hacks, how to do things easier, or maybe if you have a problem, how to work around that problem by doing something different or unusual. So that is what we're doing today. And also I will try to squeeze in some other topics, including bicycles. What do I mean by that? Do you have bicycles in your country? I'm sure you do. But of course, some countries have more cyclists than other countries. For example, if you go to Asia, you will find a lot of people still use bicycles as their mode of transport. Another good example, of course, is Amsterdam. If you go to Amsterdam, you will see many bicycles riding around. So if I have time, I will try to squeeze that question in as well. Oh, something else to mention today. It is just 4 days. 4 days to go before my birthday. It is 4 days until my birthday. So thank you very much for my lovely messages that I've been receiving already. So yes, 4 days from now, it will be my birthday. I will be another year older. How do I feel about that? I'm not sure at the moment. I haven't quite decided. I've got quite used to being this age, to be honest. I do like being the age that I am now. But unfortunately, in 4 days' time, I will be another year older. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, to be honest. But thank you anyway for your lovely messages already concerning my birthday, which is coming up this week. Can I say also a big thank you? Oh, thank you very much to Morella. Hello, Morella. Nice to see you here today. And also thank you very much for your lovely donation that you sent to me on PayPal. So thank you once again, Morella, for your lovely donation and also your lovely message that you sent to me. I received it this morning, actually. So thank you very much. And if you would like to send a donation, maybe a little birthday present perhaps, to keep my work continuing and moving along here on YouTube, then there is the address. But thank you once again. Thank you so much to Morella for your lovely, kind donation that was sent to my PayPal this morning. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Isn't that nice? Thank you so much. Yes, I did mention the live chat. Hello, live chat. I suppose the big question is, who was first on today's live chat? I wonder who will be getting a fancy pants today. Oh, very interesting. We have a very interesting situation here. A very unusual situation, if I may say so. Olga. Hello, Olga. Nice to see you here. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. Pretty good. Can't be bad. A thumbs up. And I think also, perhaps we will have a fancy pants. Okay, that's enough. We can't have too much fun. We can't have too much enjoyment because we've only been on for 14 minutes. I don't want to wear myself out. You see, that's the reason why. Congratulations, Olga. Hello, Mr. Duncan, and hello, classmates. Today I saw the lesson trailer for the first time. The live streams are evolving. You are right, actually. You may notice that if you click on my live streams before they begin, you will now see a short trailer with me talking to you. So this is a new thing that YouTube have recently introduced, and I think it's a good idea because it gives you something to watch, and also hopefully it will draw you in to the strange, mysterious world of English. And it is sometimes a fun and exciting place to be. So I'm very glad to see you here today. Hello, Vitas. Oh, Vitas, you were in second place today. If this was the Olympic Games, you would be picking up your silver medal. Hello, also Nitram. Hello to you. Beatrice is here. Also, Mayuri. Hello to you as well. Nice to see you back. Mosen is here. Also, we have Willianne. Oh, hello, Willianne. How was your birthday on Friday? Did you have a good birthday? Did you get any nice surprises? Any nice presents? I wonder. Also, we have Bluesbird. Hello, Bluesbird. Nice to see you flying by today. Nice of you to drop by. Oh, we also have Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you back. And also we have Valentin, Mr. Bruno, watching in Switzerland. A very good place to hide your money, apparently. So I've heard. Oh, very nice. Zudzika, who is a man. If you were watching last Wednesday, you will know why I said that. Hello also Esther Flores. Hello to you. Nice to see you. Hello also Niet Hui, who is watching in Vietnam. Hello, Vietnam. It seems like a long time since I mentioned Vietnam, but I know I have lots and lots of people in Vietnam, lots of students who are very eager to learn about the English language. So hello to Vietnam as well. Sandra Gonzalez. The days are cloudy here as well, Mr. Duncan. The weather is very strange, and I suppose I can't really talk about the weather without talking about all of the hot weather that certain countries are experiencing and some of the terrible fires. I have seen possibly some of the worst images that I've ever seen on television concerning the forest fires and all of the destruction that is taking place at the moment. We have Greece with lots of fires. We have Turkey. Also, other parts of Europe now are being affected by the hot weather. So there are forest fires now breaking out all over the place. I suppose the one thing I'm thankful for is that we are having miserable weather here. So it's not hot. I don't know why, but this summer has turned it almost feels like, I suppose, November. It feels like November here at the moment in England. It does not feel like August. Can I just say that? Sandra, thank you very much for getting in touch today. Christina Jackson. We have a lot of people joining in now. Thank you very much for coming on and spending some of your Sunday with me. So we will have the sentence game later on, and don't forget also we have our topic, which is hints, tips and life hacks. Here's an interesting word, and this is a word that I heard used a couple of days ago on the news. Quite often when you create something, if you create something that is unique, something that you have made yourself. And it can be anything, I suppose, but quite often something you have written, maybe a song, maybe a book, maybe a long story or a short story, or perhaps you've painted a beautiful portrait or a picture that is unique to your own style, but then another person comes along and they copy what you've done, or maybe even they steal your ideas. It's a terrible situation, and yes, it does happen quite often. So there might be situations where one person will steal another person's ideas. They will steal their story, or maybe they will steal their style when it comes to the way you draw, or perhaps an idea that you have for some story, maybe a short story, a long story, or perhaps even a poem, maybe, or even an invention as well. It is possible to have your ideas stolen by another person. So stealing other people's ideas and passing them off as your own is called plagiarism. I love that word, by the way. Plagiarism means to use another person's idea. You steal their idea or you use it. Sometimes maybe you use their idea in a very vague way, not directly, but it is still possible for people to recognize that your work has been stolen from someone else. Plagiarism quite often occurs in certain areas. One person plagiarizes another's work. They steal the idea. And I suppose it would be fair to say that quite often in academics and in literature, the occurrence of plagiarism is common. So it is common for people to steal others' ideas in writing. So I think that is probably the most common, especially, and this is for all you who had to sit down and write your essays or a thesis. Quite often people will steal others' essays. And I know there are some websites on the internet where you can go and find essays that have been written by other people. And then all you have to do is copy and paste them. However, and this is a problem nowadays, a lot of people are being caught out because they've cheated or they've tried to cheat on their essay. So if you are writing some sort of essay or dissertation, make sure that it comes from your brain. Do not be tempted to steal another person's work and pass it off as your own. So if you pass something off as your own, it means you are pretending or you are giving the illusion that that thing is yours when it isn't. So in academics, quite often you will see or hear of people who have stolen another person's essay, and then they've said that the essay is their own when it isn't. And I would imagine also literature. It happens a lot. I know over the years certain authors have sued other people. They've taken them to court because they believe that their work has been stolen by someone else, or maybe their idea. This also happens a lot in the world of filmmaking or cinema. So if one person comes up with a great idea for a story, you have to be very careful who you tell about that story. So if you have a great idea, maybe an idea for a movie about a time-travelling dog. That's my idea, by the way, not yours. Don't steal that idea. So I have a great idea for a movie. I've written the screenplay already, and it's all about a dog that can travel through time. And he pops up in different time periods, and he helps people. He helps people who are in trouble. So he can pop up anywhere at any time. So that's my idea, not yours. Don't steal that idea, please. That's mine. So plagiarism is something that does happen quite often. I suppose sometimes I find myself the victim of plagiarism. Maybe people steal my ideas from my lessons. It's hardly surprising. Does it annoy me? Not really. Okay, sometimes it does. Sometimes it's very annoying. But yes, I think sometimes people do steal my ideas. I have seen some people using exactly the same ideas as I have over the years in my video lessons. But I suppose I should take it as a compliment. I should say thank you for copying me. Thank you for plagiarizing my lessons. How lovely. Oh, by the way, we had something very special to eat on Friday evening. I might show you in a moment what it was, but we had something lovely. And can I just say, it was 100% vegetarian. Yes. What do you think about that? Oh, Mr. Duncan, are you turning vegetarian? No. Not yet. But on Friday night we had, I'm going to show you now what it was. We had a delicious, and I made 2 of these for Mr. Steve and also for myself. We had a beautiful, lovely bean burger and vegetable burger. So there you can see on the screen now. So this is what I made for Mr. Steve the other night. So there is a bean burger with lots of spicy beans, and also on top, the small burger on the top is actually made of feta and also eggplant. And can I say, it was absolutely delicious. So that now has become our regular Friday night meal. So on Friday evenings, that's what we have. We used to have curry, but we've stopped having that now. So instead we have a nice double juicy bean burger with extra cheese and also a little bit of mayonnaise and a little bit of tomato sauce as well. Although I have to say it is not vegan. So this is not a vegan burger. It is vegetarian, but not vegan. Because of course there are eggs in the ingredients. So not quite. Mr. Steve will be with us in a few moments. I hope you are looking forward, and I hope you are eager to give Mr. Steve a big welcome. Oh, by the way, I have a special video clip to show you. I'm going to show you the first ever regular appearance of Mr. Steve. We're going to share that moment a little bit later on. But for now, I think we will have a look at one of my full English lessons. Is that a good idea? I think it's a very good idea, actually. So here it is, an excerpt from my first ever full English lesson. The first one I ever did. Many years ago. So here it is, an excerpt from Full English number 1. And then after this, we have Mr. Steve right here, live in the studio. Don't go away. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. I'm very happy to meet you. Welcome to the very first edition of Mr. Duncan's Full English. Right here you will find many topics relating to the English language and how it is used. with new words and phrases, along with lots of other super duper stuff as well, all crammed into each episode. Today's edition is what we call a pilot show. A pilot show is a program that has been made to test how well it works. You make a pilot show to see how the audience reacts to it. That is what I am doing today. But enough of that. Let's get on with the first ever Mr. Duncan's Full English right now. These are my socks. I have many pairs of socks. There is something wrong with this pair. Can you see the problem? These socks have holes in them. They are worn out. If something is worn out, then we can say that it is no longer useful. It has become damaged and useless. The thing has been used so many times, it has become damaged. You can feel worn out too, if you are tired after working hard. I have had such a busy day. I'm worn out. Can you see the letter next to me? It is the letter Z. In British English, we usually call this the letter Z. In American English, this letter is pronounced Z, which can cause some confusion for those looking at the alphabet in other countries. Zack, zebra, zip, zither, zone, zoo, buzz, crazy, dazzle, doze, fizz, jazz, maze, nuzzle, Z or Z. Oh, blue socks, I knew you well, but lately you had started to smell. To part with you so soon makes me think, if you leave me now, will I miss your stink? The time has come, now you've worn thin, to throw you straight into the bin. My pair of blue socks, what will become of your souls, now that you are full of holes? Alas, blue socks, I knew you well, but I could no longer stand your smell. There it was. My first ever full English lesson. Can you believe it? The first one ever. And a lot of people have asked, oh, Mr. Duncan, we do like your poem about the socks. We love it so much. If you hear a crunching sound, that's because Mr. Steve is having his lunch right now. So I will give Mr. Steve 20 seconds to swallow his lunch, and then we will reveal the man himself. And we have something very special to show you today with Mr. Steve, because, well, I suppose it is a kind of anniversary. I suppose that's how you would explain it anyway. So Steve is coming. He is on his way.
Oh, hello, Mr. Duncan.
If I said to you that just 30 seconds ago Steve was eating his lunch.
Well, Mr. Duncan, you normally give me a bit more time.
Yes, well,
to
I can't.
prepare.
You know, the video was 4 minutes long. The video, so I can't make the video longer. Unfortunately, 4 minutes.
What did I have for lunch? Ask me.
I can smell what you had. I can smell. Let me just. Was there? I think it was vegetables.
Yes.
Was there beetroot?
Yes.
Yes, I know. I can smell beetroot.
Beetroot. Beetroot.
I don't know why. I don't like the smell of beetroot.
Better.
I don't.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Mr. Duncan.
It's Mr. Steve.
I'm here yet again. Another Sunday, another show. More fun, more laughter, more anarchy.
I'm not sure about that.
Well, that's just from the people that watch us.
Yes. Steve, we have a rather special moment to share today because last week on the 6th of August 2017, you made your first regular appearance.
Right, okay.
So from that point, you were actually a regular person, a regular guest on my live stream.
I wish I was regular when it came to the toilet.
I didn't mention that, Steve did. So any complaints, please send them to Mr. Steve. So I thought we would share a little moment from 4 years ago, and this is when Mr. Steve made his first ever regular appearance on my live stream on the 6th of August.
A debut, you mean? My debut?
Yes. So official. This was Mr. Steve's official first appearance and regular appearance on my live stream. Let's have a look at it right now. So here he is. It's Mr. Steve joining me live. He was with us last week as well. Lots of people wrote. They said, Mr. Duncan, they wrote to me and they said, Mr. Duncan, we love Mr. Steve. Can we have more Mr. Steve? So for all of Mr. Steve's fans, here he is. It's Mr. Steve.
Hello. You sure everyone hasn't tuned off now? I've come on.
No, I think you are going to increase the number of views because lots of people seem to be crazy about you.
I can't understand why. Anyway, you've invited me back, so I'm here, late, but I am here.
So where were you?
In the garden.
You went off into the garden
again.
So what jobs have you been doing today in the garden?
Well, I've been cutting the grass, and I've been trimming back a few plants that were annoying me.
Doing a bit of trimming.
A bit of trimming, yes.
Were you trimming your bushes as well?
Essential maintenance to the bushes, yes.
Yes, there's nothing worse than an overgrown bush. That's what I would say.
Well, you would know. Well,
there's no answer to that.
The tone of the lesson to come.
There's no answer. There's no answer to that. Mr. Steve, now it is a well-known fact that you are a very healthy chap.
Well, I don't know about that, but people do seem to suggest that I am healthy and look after myself, but I don't know whether that tips over the edge of into... Well, we're going to mention a word later, aren't we, about people who are too concerned about their health.
It's almost as if we prearranged all of this.
Sure we didn't. Surely not. So it's all spontaneous.
Wait there a moment. What's all that then? If you are only average health conscious, why to your left is there a big pile of health paraphernalia? So what is all this paraphernalia next to you?
You put these up here. They're normally hidden away in cupboards.
You didn't know they were there?
No, I've just literally seen them. Yeah, that's quite a shock.
So your health is okay. I'm not sure about your eyesight. So there he was, Mr. Steve.
Do you know, I nearly wore that same top. Wouldn't that have been amazing and slightly funny, strange, if I was actually going to put on that same top today?
Well, it would have been if it had happened.
But it didn't.
It nearly happened.
Well, I think I look younger now than I did then.
It is interesting seeing us. I always find it amazing when we watch all old live streams. So that was 4 years.
That's what you were going to say then. We watch old live Mr. Steve.
I don't know what you're on about. And as you can see, things haven't changed very much. In fact, it hasn't changed much at all. Although a lot of people do say, Mr. Duncan, we prefer it when you sit down. We like your original set where you would be sitting in the chair with lots of things around you. And then Mr. Steve would be on another camera somewhere else talking. So a lot of people did like that style. So I don't know, we might go back to it one day. We might change and go back to that style. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. But I like this because I can keep an eye on Mr. Steve. If I'm right next to him, I know that I can control him, you see, a little bit more. It's a bit like having an animal. If you have a dog that barks and snarls all the time, then you have to really be able to control them directly. So Mr. Steve is a bit like a dog that's gone wild. And sometimes I have to pull on his
leash.
Leash.
You notice my top, Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
It says 67.
But that's not your age.
It's how I feel today. I was on the other night doing a FaceTime with my mother.
Okay.
And I had this top on. She said, "What's that 67? What does that mean?" And actually, I didn't know. I think it's to do with when whoever makes this shirt, it's the year that they started manufacturing. But it does look a bit odd, don't you think, 67?
Yes.
Is it an odd number to have on your T-shirt?
The numbers are the wrong way round.
Manhandle me.
The numbers are the wrong way round for how old you feel. It should be 76, to be honest. We have some interesting things coming up today. First of all, we had a little surprise last week when some cows appeared in the field at the back of the house, but for some reason they vanished. They were there for about 2 days and then they disappeared. So I'm not sure where they've gone. I have a feeling they may have escaped from the field. So if you see any cows running down the high street where you live, they might be the cows from the back of my house. But that's all I know. I don't know anything about these cows. They've just vanished into thin air. Maybe they've been abducted.
Well, yes, cows are abducted and mutilated by aliens, apparently. That is something that I have read before.
Yes.
Why they would do that, I don't know, but apparently that does happen. I think it's just people. And then they claim it's aliens, but we're not talking about aliens today.
Well, we're not.
Are we? We're not talking about cars either. Mr. Duncan has banned me from talking about cars.
Well, I haven't banned you. Can I just say that sometimes we have to just have other subjects, other things to talk about besides cars. A good subject to talk about today is it's 4 days until my birthday. Oh, 4 more days and then it will be my birthday. Unfortunately, I will be another year older. I am slowly catching Mr. Steve up.
You're another year older today, Mr. Duncan.
Am I?
Yes. And again, just now, you're a year older than you were this second a year ago.
You said this before and it didn't make any sense, and it doesn't make any sense this time.
Well, you're always a year older compared to any measure 12 months ago.
But this is a significant date. It's significant because it was the day you first popped out of your mummy's clown hole.
Pardon?
What? I can't believe I just said that.
Even I'm taken aback. Taken aback.
Well, it's
Which
true.
means you're shocked. I'm taken aback.
I popped out. I said, "Hello, world." I can't think of any other way of saying it, to be honest.
Yes, your mother regretted it.
My mother regretted it ever since.
Yes, she has. And she has reminded you on many occasions.
Yes. What a disappointment I am to her. Every day she reminds me.
Just a quick reminder.
What? Oh,
Because
yes.
it really does help, Mr. Duncan. If there's anything, even the smallest little thing that you've liked about today's show, or think that you might like, I mean, if you haven't liked anything up to now, but you think, well, maybe in 5 minutes or in half an hour, I probably will like something,
Yeah. Stick around.
just click the like button.
Stick around.
Like button for Mr. Duncan.
Don't go away.
It will get better, we
Yeah.
promise.
There might be something that you like.
Yes.
So please keep your what's the word I'm looking for?
Keep your interest,
Yes, or maybe your
attention,
Yes, or
concentration,
your anticipation. Your anticipation of something good happening.
I mean, I'm sure the fact that I've just appeared is sufficient
It will.
incentive for people to press the like button.
Yes, like.
Well, don't dislike.
No.
But yes, it really does help Mr. Duncan. We explain this every week, but it helps Mr. Duncan to get out there into the YouTube world.
Yes.
The algorithms will favour Mr. Duncan above other teachers doing similar things.
Talking of which,
Inferior teachers, of course.
you probably wouldn't say that, because at the moment there are some English teachers who are actually arguing and fighting at the moment on YouTube. And this happens quite often with people who make videos on YouTube. They often get into arguments with other YouTube publishers. So there are some controversies going on at the moment with one particular English teacher. I'm not going to say who, but it's going on. And I've always said this. There is nothing worse, and I might get into trouble over this. There is nothing worse than a group of teachers together.
Rivalry?
if you-
Rivalry?
Everything. If you are a teacher and you are with a group of other teachers, you know exactly what I mean. You know what I mean. If you're not a teacher, you won't know what I mean. But if you are a teacher, you will know exactly what I mean. You will say, Mr. Duncan, I know what you mean.
Maybe we should start arguing. Well, we often do, though, don't we? You see, we often do disagree,
Well,
argue, and maybe have a difference of opinion,
that's fine.
which makes it interesting for people to watch.
That's
maybe.
normal.
I mean, we don't sort of pre-plan any of this.
what a boring life it would be if people agreed all the time.
I mean, that's the thing with your show, Mr. Duncan. Anything could happen. We could just fall out at any minute
Yes.
and create controversy and entertainment. Because it is entertainment when people fall out and argue live on air.
Everyone wants to know who it is. I'm not getting involved. It's nothing to do with me. I am actually an outsider on YouTube. I'm on the outside.
The fringes.
So I don't get involved with all of the politics and all of the arguments on YouTube, and there are lots of them. Another thing you will find on YouTube quite often, helpful ideas, things that can offer you some sort of help or maybe an answer to a situation that you can't solve. And I think that's a very interesting subject, to be honest with you. So I thought today we would take a look at some helpful hints and tips. So that's what we're going to do today, Steve.
There's a tip.
Well, it's not that sort of tip. It's a different type of tip.
Ah, a tip. So a tip can be the top of something, the tip of this pen, or it can be what? The other meaning of tip.
Well,
Useful, something useful.
you can have tips, hints, and also hacks. So there is your tip. A tip is something that is offered as a suggestion. Also a hint is very similar. And hack is also a word that we use quite often. So let's have a slightly closer look at these words. A tip or hint refers to a suggestion that is given to help a person make a decision. So maybe you need some advice. Maybe you need a suggestion. There is something you want to do. There is something you are trying to do, but you don't have the answer. Or maybe you need to do something in a hurry or quickly. So a tip or hint refers to a suggestion that is given to help a person make a decision, or to help them do something. A useful tip is offered as advice. So we often see a tip as something offered as advice. And also a hint. When we say hint, hint is suggestion. You are suggesting something. So quite often we can use these two words as synonyms. They are quite often used as replacements for each other. These days we will often use the term hack, which is the modern term. So these days, Steve, a lot of trendy young people will say hack instead of hint or tip.
Will they?
So these days we will often use the term hack. A life hack is an unusual way to solve an everyday problem, or to make something easier to do or carry out. So we normally use the term life hack, which some people don't like. But if you hack something, it means you are creating a short route. You are making a shortcut to something. For example, I suppose a good example would be a person who hacks a computer. They are breaking into it. They are also finding their own way of getting in to something. So the word hack is often used these days to mean a tip. A handy idea or a useful tip might be described as a life hack.
See, that's new to me, Mr. Duncan, because a hack, to me, the meaning of a hack is somebody who's a bit disreputable.
Yes.
Who's like if you have a journalist, a hack is somebody who's, unprofessional, not very good.
Yes.
Unscrupulous in what they do.
In fact, the word hack can be used in many ways. As a verb, it is to chop. If you chop something, you hack at something. You are hacking something. So this particular word can be used in many ways. So a handy idea or a useful tip might be described as a life hack. So that's what we're going to look at today. We are going to look at some life hacks.
Right. Or useful tips or hints.
However, and this is a big however, not all hacks are useful, as some of them can be harmful. And this is the problem on YouTube at the moment. There are many people creating their own life hacks. However, many of them are dangerous, unsafe, and may actually get the person trying it injured or killed.
Whereas if you're giving somebody a tip, that's always a positive. That's always going to be something positive, isn't it? So you're saying that hacks can be useful. So they could be tips, but they may not be. They may be unhelpful.
Yes. So we are going to look at those today. I think it would be a good chance to take a look at an unusual subject that I've never actually looked at before. I've never done this before, Steve. So that's one of the things I find interesting, is the fact I've never actually done this before. So we have some life hacks that we are going to share. Some of them here in the studio. Mr. Steve has chosen his life hacks, and I've got a couple to show as well. But we also have some serious ones and some crazy ones. So everything you are going to see today, please don't try. Please don't try them.
Belarusia, by the way, is in bed with a cold.
Oh no!
Still watching us.
Hello.
That's commitment.
Hello, Claudia. Hello. I hope things aren't too cloudy where you are, Claudia. I hope so. But it's nice to see you here, and I hope you get well soon. I really do.
Yes, but thanks for I'm sure that already Belarusia feels better.
I think so.
For watching us. Let's hope so.
I think so. Anyway, we have some life hacks. Here are some examples. Now, this is one for Mr. Steve. I think this is quite a good life hack.
Right.
So many cars these days, many motor cars, have heated seats inside the car.
particularly in hot countries. You said you weren't going to talk about cars.
You're not going to have a heater in a hot country, are you?
Yes, they don't. I wouldn't think they'd have them in a hot country.
Oh, I see.
I think is what I said.
Yes.
Yes, but most cars sold in the UK have heated seats. Probably in Scandinavian countries, colder countries, anywhere in Europe, I would think. But maybe not in Spain or Greece or Portugal or Italy. They probably don't have heated seats in their cars there because they don't need it.
So here is another life hack. It's actually the first one, not another one. Turn on your seat warmer to keep pizza hot whilst driving home.
Well, what a good idea.
See, now I think that's brilliant. So that is one that you could try. So I don't think that one is dangerous.
So do you take the pizza out of the box and put it directly onto the car seat?
Well, you can see the photograph there. It's in the box. It's in the box.
That would be more effective. And then maybe put a blanket over it as well.
Yes.
But don't sit on it.
No, don't sit on it. Don't put it underneath don't put it on your seat if you're driving the car.
Right. Might get messy.
It might be very distracting as the red hot cheese goes into your bum crack. I think so.
So that's a hack or a tip?
Yes. So I think that's quite a good one. If you're buying some pizza, taking it home, you could put it on your seat warmer and you will have lovely warm pizza when you get home. So I think that's quite a good one. Here's another interesting one, Steve. I like this one as well. Put pancake mix into a ketchup bottle for a no-mess experience. So if you are making pancakes, you can put the batter into one of those squeezy bottles. And so to make it easier to create the pancake, you just squeeze the bottle and then, as you can see, the batter will just come out evenly into the frying pan. I think that's a good one. So these are all good ones. I think this is also a good one. So keeping your pizza warm on your heated seat and also putting pancake mix or pancake batter into a plastic bottle. And then you squeeze the batter slowly out. So I think that's great.
And what we would like to say is that if you are wonderful, beautiful, happy viewers watching us, if you have your own tips or life hacks, please share them with us and with everybody else, and we'll read them out.
Yes, so put pancake mix in a ketchup bottle for a no-mess experience. I like that one.
Right.
Here's a good one, Steve. This is for anyone who always loses their keys. And we all do it. We all lose our keys. You can use nail polish to paint your keys. It will make it easy to tell them apart. So you could put different colours on your keys with a little bit of nail polish. So you paint the nail polish onto your key. And then you can tell the difference between them. You will know where they are as long as you remember the colour and which door it goes in. So I suppose you could also paint the keyhole the same colour. You could paint the key blue and then the keyhole that key belongs to, you could also paint the outside of it blue. But although that might make it very easy for burglars.
What would men do though?
Well, men would use paint. There, that's...
I see. So nail polish for women, paint... Well, I mean, the thing is, have you got that giant range of colours
in paint,
for nail polish?
Yes. When was the last time you had your nails polished?
Never.
Oh, okay. So any woman watching now will know that there are many colours. See, you can see that we don't put nail polish on. I've been very tempted sometimes.
You've got it on your toenails, though, haven't you? Bright red.
Well, of course, on my toenails, always, always. A lady never neglects her toenails, ever. So use nail polish to paint the keys.
Beatrice says that she does that.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Beatrice says she does that.
I do that with my keys usually.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think it's a great way of remembering, because there's nothing worse if you have lots of doors in your house, especially doors that you have to get through, to enter the house. Sometimes you can have a large bunch of keys. And if you're in a hurry, you have to find the right key. It's very, very difficult to find the right key. But if you know the colour, there's the red key. That's for my back door, as it were.
Zika says, by the way, she does that as well. I would lose them anyway. She says.
Yes, I suppose it won't prevent you from losing your keys.
Although Zika did say earlier that she's reading an English book because of watching you, Mr. Duncan.
Really?
Reading an English book, a novel.
Oh.
So, big thumbs up. And I hope you manage to get all the way through it and you enjoy it.
What is the novel? I want to know now. I'm going to guess that maybe it's something romantic. I don't know. No, I'm not being sexist there. Please don't complain. But I think it might be something about romance.
So you've got to be careful what I say about men painting or not painting their nails, because of course we're living in a much more free, open world.
Yes.
AD, let's hope I've pronounced that correctly. AD says that their boyfriend does.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So yeah, why not?
Nail polish has many uses, in fact.
I mean, I wouldn't use bright red, but I could see a sort of a clear lacquer going on here. My father.
Your father? Oh,
my father.
Oh, okay.
No, he didn't use nail polish.
Oh, okay.
But I always used to bite my nails when I was a child.
Yes.
Well, I still do. Let's face it, still do. Not as much. But it was a very bad habit. I was always biting and chewing my nails.
Nothing worse.
And my father bought some special nail polish that tastes disgusting. And he painted it on my nails, quite forcibly.
What,
to remember.
Did he hold you down?
I can't remember now, but I remember not being able to resist. He painted this stuff on my nails and it sets. And then if you try to chew your nails, it's bitter, disgusting.
I just have this. I have this image now of your father holding you down on the floor whilst he forces you to have bad tasting nail varnish.
Oh, in parts of the world, it's quite common apparently for men to paint their nails.
Yes.
So no, we're not being disparaging.
I didn't say anything. I think it's perfectly all right. Whatever you want to do. Yes. It's a free world, apparently. Although some places around the world are more free than others.
Yes, Christina, biting your nails means discomfort. Yes, it means you're nervous and sort of maybe stressed, thinking about things. And yes, I used to do a lot of that. I've stopped chewing my nails altogether now. It's my toenails that I chew now instead.
Yes, he chews mine sometimes.
Any toenails, I'll just chew them.
So be careful if you come round to our house. Make sure you wear shoes and socks because Steve will try to chew your toenails. Let's have a look at another life hack, Steve.
Yes, okay. We've got examples coming up from our lovely viewers.
Okay then.
Nitram says, here's a life hack. Make a small hole in your milk carton and the milk will pour smoothly.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
That is always the thing when you open a milk bottle, or should I say a milk carton nowadays, you find that when you first pour the milk, it doesn't come out properly, or it comes out in big gulps, blop, blop, and it goes everywhere. So yes, just put a tiny hole, and then you will allow the air to come in as it escapes.
Around the opposite side to where the spout is.
Yes.
Yes, the other thing you can do is turn it up the other way.
Yes.
So wherever the spout is, naturally the spout would be the lowest part and you would pour it from there. But if you turn it round the other way and pour it that way, I think the air can get in easier. But a hole would be a very good idea.
I think so. I've got one. I've got a live one. I've got a live life hack. So here's a live one. Would you like to see it?
Is it don't have co-hosts on your channel.
Look at this, Steve. Isn't it annoying when you try to find the end of your tape?
Very.
When you're sticking things. There's nothing worse, and you spend ages.
That's not average sellotape, though, is it, Mr. Duncan?
Well, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. But I can't find the beginning. I can't find it. Where is it? It's very annoying. Well, I have a little life hack for you now. If you want to be able to find the beginning, why not place a small paper clip on the tape at the end? So if you place that on the end, you will never lose the beginning. You will never lose the start of the tape.
Never heard that one before,
Because
Mr. Duncan.
it won't stick.
Maybe you should have it poking out.
Yeah, well, you don't have to. As long as it stops the stickiness.
Well, that's not average sellotape.
No,
but I
it's
could see that it would work
Any
on
t-
clear
Yes,
sellotape.
any tape.
Yes, or you can fold it back on itself. But maybe you need... Yes, there we go.
See? So it will never stick. It will never stick down. So you will always know where the end of your tape is. So I think this is a very good life hack. I like this one. This is my favourite. I'm going to use this from now on.
But, well, yes, Maori, another life hack here. When you get dress mess with oil drops, put powder on. It will suck all the oil, then you can wash it. Right. Now, I need to understand what you're saying here. Oh, yes, if you get oil on your dress, put powder, it will suck the oil, and then you can wash it, right? Oil. I presume like olive oil, something like that. We're not talking engine oil here.
No, something that might stain your clothes or be hard to get out. So yeah, the other one, of course, is newspaper as well. Newspaper is very good. A lot of people forget that newspaper is very good for getting something out of material, especially carpets. If you spill something on the carpet, put one or two pieces of newspaper down and just let it soak in, and then take it away.
Newspaper?
And then put a little bit more. Yes, anything.
Won't that put the print onto the carpet?
No. Okay, paper
Sure
then.
about that one.
Paper.
Yes.
I'm getting the feeling that Steve's job today is just to ruin all of my life hacks.
Well, here we go. Florence. Hello, Florence. Florence is here briefly, and then she's going.
Oh.
Because she's working. So nice to have you here, even if only just briefly. And we are both well. Are you well, Mr. Duncan?
I am super duper.
So am I. So
I am.
thank you for asking.
I am. It's now official. I am double jabbed.
I hope you are too.
Double jabbed. Inaki says we use the word brick when we are describing a carton. So instead of carton, you use the word brick as the same thing. I always think carton is an interesting word because it over the years it has been used in different ways. So a carton used to be a large box. To me, that's what it is. A big carton is normally a large box for carrying lots of things around at the same time. But nowadays, of course, you can have cartons of yogurt. You can have cartons of milk. So a carton has been sort of, its use has been expanded to mean lots of other things, different types of container.
I think they're very bad for the planet, those cardboard cartons that we have for milk, because, well, we can't. I don't think you can recycle them very well.
They are very hard to recycle because they are made of cardboard, but also on the inside they are lined with plastic. So I think that type of container is still very hard to recycle.
So I think that if we're trying to make the planet better, then we should return back to milk bottles, or at least plastic ones, because you can recycle the plastic ones. Sergio's got a joke for us. Well, he's already told us. Why is the number 6 afraid of the number 7?
I don't know.
Because 7, 8, 9. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Oh, right. Oh, Morocco. Bakar is in Morocco watching us today. Oh, that sounds very exotic. If you say Morocco to us, it sounds incredibly exotic. A wonderful, magical place to visit. Maybe we'll go one day if we're invited.
I imagine Steve hanging around the harems.
Pardon?
That's what I'm thinking anyway. Here we go.
What do you mean, Mr. Duncan?
Here is another good life hack, because that's what we're talking about. Hints, tips, and life hacks. So here is another one. Are you ready, Steve? Here it is. I like this one. So now, these are getting very silly now, by the way. So this is a silly one. You know what it's like when you've got to put some paper into one of those folders, and you have to have those holes made so it will go in. Well, sometimes you don't have a tool. So instead of using one of those big contraptions, you can use an electric drill. Just drill the holes.
Or
yeah,
you could just do a few at a time. But of course, you've got to line up the holes. But yes, you could use a drill.
Yes,
you could use a drill.
So this is one of the more unusual life hacks. So this is one that I wouldn't suggest trying, but it's a silly one. And there are some silly ones coming up, you see. That's why.
Safar has said to prevent potatoes from boiling, or do you mean boiling over? Boiling over. Put some drops of oil into the water.
Oh.
Well, I wonder if that would prevent milk from boiling over. Or maybe, yes, because quite a lot of the time you put things on the stove and you go to the toilet, you come back, it's boiled over. So maybe a few drops of oil, we can try that one. Thank you for that.
Would you like to see another life hack? Here's another one, a live one. So we have some lovely photographs, but also we have some live ones here in the studio. Here's a good one. I like this. Nowadays, when you buy coffee, you can buy coffee in little containers like this, you see. So normally the container is sealed on the inside. So there you can see it is sealed. So you open that, and then you can use this little plastic thing to keep the coffee fresh. However, after you've finished the coffee, keep the lid, keep this part, because this also fits on cans as well. So if you open a can of beans like this, you can actually put this on top, and it will actually seal the container.
Look at that.
So look at that. So it's actually the same size. So if you open some beans and you don't want to eat all of them, just put that on the top, and it will keep in the freshness. This also works for condensed milk as well.
Although we should advise that once you've opened a can, you shouldn't keep the unused contents in a can for very long.
No. So if you're going to, only if you're going to eat them later.
Yes.
Not for a long time.
Saturino says, don't you have bottles for milk anymore in the UK? Not very much. So we used to have, most people, I would say, certainly when I was growing up, you always had a milkman or a milk person, usually a man, come to your door and drop off 3 pints of milk. It was always in bottles, but these days most people get their milk from supermarkets or home deliveries, and bottles. You don't see bottled milk. Well, you might see some bottled milk in a supermarket, but not very much.
No.
It would almost always be in plastic bottles or those cardboard Tetra Pak.
Yeah.
That's what they call Tetra Pak.
Yes.
The man that invented that cardboard container for milk and for other beverages is I would say, a multi-millionaire,
Mm.
the person that invented Tetra Pak.
You know, I think he died.
Really?
I think he did. I remember maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I'm sure the guy that invented that special kind of container for putting milk in, I'm sure he died. I was going to say something then, but I can't remember what it was. It doesn't happen very often, but there you go. Sometimes Steve talks for so long. I have this great idea and then it's gone. It just vanishes from my head. So there are many, many life hacks. Would you like to see one of my silly ones? Here we go, Steve.
Yes.
You can turn your toaster on its side, sideways, and then you can have grilled cheese.
Oh.
Now this is one that I would not recommend. I don't think this is a good one. So
No.
I found this on the internet. And you know what the internet is like? It's full of some very strange things, including us, by the way. So you can turn your toaster sideways and get grilled cheese, but I don't think this is a good life hack. Unless, of course, you want your cheese to go everywhere inside your toaster. And I think it might also be dangerous as well. You might end up getting electrocuted. I think so. So probably not a good one, that. My next one is good. I like the next one. That's going to make me laugh ever such a lot. Anything there, Steve?
Right, yes. Well, I've got one, Mr. Duncan.
Oh,
I've got one. Well, you've got one as well, haven't you, I think?
I've got one more as well.
Well, I read on the internet that, you know how difficult it is sometimes to clean your bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
to get rid of the scum, all the build-up of calcium and deposits that you get from hard water.
We call it a tide line.
Yes, or just around your taps, around the sink. You get a build-up of lime deposits, don't you? Particularly if you've got hard water.
Yes.
Which we do have all over the UK pretty much. And your shower, it gets covered in sort of those white sort of lime deposits from the water. Well, apparently, if you use a dishwasher tablet, because these are very strong and powerful, designed to take all the stains out of your crockery and your knives and forks, apparently these are very good for cleaning your bathroom with.
So this is actually a very powerful detergent.
Yes, and they've got all sorts of things in them that eat away at different stains. So apparently you should wear rubber gloves. But yeah, that is a good tip. I've yet to try it, but I'm going to try it.
Yes.
Because we've got, our shower area is looking in need of a bit of TLC.
Yes, especially when Steve is showering. I don't know what happens to his body, but there's always sort of this very black line around the edge of the bath. It's thick as well. It's not just wide, it's also thick. It actually has a profile. I don't know what he's doing in there. I really don't.
Yes, Saturino, you can get wine. Or Rosa said that, I think. You can get wine in Tetra Paks, which is sacrilege. Particularly, I would imagine, to countries that do produce high-quality wine.
Yes, if you are a wine
France.
connoisseur, then if you are an expert on wine, imagine that. Imagine turning up at their house and you're going to a party at their house and you turn up with a carton of wine in a big cardboard container. Imagine that.
Yes, Saturino. If you've seen movies of the UK, the milkman takes the empty bottles away and replaces them with full bottles. It doesn't really happen anymore. I think it does in some places, and it may be coming back into fashion, but most people, that used to be everybody did that, didn't they?
Well, there is
everybody had a milkman.
There is a milkman that comes round our neighbourhood.
There is, but we don't
and
use him.
And delivers milk to one of our neighbours. So in the morning sometimes you can hear the slight sound of milk bottles. Milk bottles. I'm 3 suddenly. I'm 3 years old. So yes, we do have someone that comes round, but they come round very early, but we don't do that.
Milkmen have got a certain reputation, haven't they?
Have they?
Milkmen, yes. Not wishing to disparage that profession, but milkmen do have a reputation in popular culture in the UK of delivering the milk, but that's not all they're delivering. They are, in fact, sneaking inside while the husband's away and having affairs with the women on their milk round.
Ooh.
The same for window cleaners. Have got a similar reputation in the UK.
And postmen.
Postmen?
Yes,
Really?
of course.
I thought the postmen were too busy
Anyone
delivering letters.
that leaves anything or shoves anything in to your letterbox is liable to want to do more than that. Anyway, the milk person that comes to our neighbour is actually a woman. So that.
Maori says, when I need a funnel to pour petrol into my Scotty, we don't know what a Scotty is, so please tell us, I cut a plastic bottle in half, remove its cap and put its mouth in the tank and then pour petrol in it.
I'm going to
Works
say
as a funnel.
I'm going to say scooter.
Could be.
Yes.
Could be scooter. Yes.
So I think that might be predictive text.
Ah, right.
There. So I think it is scooter, one of those small motorbikes.
You sure you're not filling bottles with petrol and throwing them at the police
Okay.
and lighting the end of it? Are you sure you're not doing that? Is that why you've got bottles of petrol hanging around just in case you need to riot?
Oh, that's a
Well, that's what people do, isn't it? Molotov cocktails, I think they call it.
yes.
Not that we're promoting that as a way of, as a life hack.
Don't say we, say you. You mentioned it.
Not that we are.
Yes. No, you
Uh,
are not. I didn't mention it. Here's another one, Steve. This is my favourite life hack. I like this one. Well, this one and also the next one. I like them both. Here we go, Steve. Would you like to see this?
Go on.
So look closely at this. You have to look at this closely for a few seconds to work out what this life hack is. So this,
Oh, right.
this is to stop you from lying in bed in the morning. And can you see what happens?
Is it drawing pins on the snooze button?
Yes.
Yes.
You put drawing pins, and there they are. You can see them on the snooze button. So when your hand goes to the snooze button to hit it, the pins will stick into your hand, and then you can't press it again. You will not hit the snooze button again. You will have to get up. You have no choice. So I like that. I like that one a lot.
That is funny. That
Right.
would be... is that your partner doing that to get you out of bed?
Yes, it's a good idea.
In Italy, plumbers have the same reputation.
Ah, of course. Yes, I think so. Any workman, a man who does odd jobs. There are some very odd jobs around.
Pedro is in the house.
Pedro Belmont is here. If I'm not mistaken, I think Pedro has a birthday this month.
Really?
I'm sure. I remember last year Pedro had a birthday in August, as well as me. So is that true? I wonder. Pedro, do you have your birthday this month as well, besides me?
We had a little sort of controversy in our neighbourhood this week
Okay.
related to birthdays.
Oh, yes. This is... Can I just say, I'm going to stop you there. This is not an interesting story.
I think it is, but anyway.
It really isn't.
August the 20th, says Pedro.
Ah, yes, I thought so. I remember from last year that Pedro had his birthday. I think Steve is sulking.
I'm not sulking.
I think so.
I'm thinking of going over to help Pedro celebrate his birthday on the 20th of
yeah.
August.
Are you going to...
I wonder if I can travel to Brazil at the moment. Are you on a red list?
Are you going to take him something to blow out?
Yes.
To blow out candles on a cake is what I mean. Okay, here's the last life hack. And then I'm going to show you a live one in the studio as well. So here is the last one. This one is also something you should not try. Don't try this. This is a terrible, bad idea. So you can see that this is a double life hack. What they're using there is an iron, normally used for pressing your clothes, but also they are using a hairdryer. So this is actually making pizza. I don't think this is a very good life hack. I think this is a dangerous one. So please don't try this. Don't say, Mr. Duncan told me to do this. That's why my house burnt down. So please don't do this. But this is an interesting idea. But I think in real life, I think this is a terrible idea. So this might be the sort of thing you see on YouTube sometimes when people are making their life hack videos.
I suppose you could use the iron to heat up a piece of pizza. Maybe it's leftover pizza from the night before, but probably safer to put it in the microwave.
Yes, or just don't do that. Whatever that is there, don't try it. Although there are people suggesting that you do it, but I'm saying don't do it. So this is for my legal team, all of my lawyers working for me. So this is me saying don't do this. It looks fun and interesting, but please don't try it.
It was Adie's birthday yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Adi.
Adie, I think, is the correct pronunciation.
Adi.
Yes. But happy birthday for yesterday.
Wow, a lot of people having birthdays this month.
Yes, including in this neighbourhood. I've got a story. No, right then.
Okay, you've got 1 minute to tell me the story that you wanted to tell me about someone's birthday. But
Okay.
But please, I beg you, please make it interesting.
I think it was interesting. You know how some people don't like to reveal their age, particularly if you're, getting on in years. Some people don't like to celebrate their birthday, or they don't like to let anybody know how old they are. They want to keep it a mystery. Well, there's a lady that lives near here. My neighbour came to me and said, "Oh, is it such and such's birthday? Is it her birthday, this neighbour? Let's call her Julie. Is it Julie's birthday? I think she's a certain age tomorrow or this month. Can we find out?" Anyway, we ask around, and she finds out that we're asking, and she's quite angry. This person, we'll call her Julia, because as it turns out, nobody knew her age or her birthday. She's kept it a secret for the last 30 years from everybody. But now, because of our neighbour and me asking around, it's all come out into the open, and she's a little angry about it because she wanted to keep it a secret. So there you go. That's my funny story.
Funny?
Well, it caused controversy in the local neighbourhood.
I think the word funny is probably not, or interesting for that matter.
Oh, what does that blue box mean?
I think we've had a super chat come through. Thank you very much to Bakar for your super chat donation. Thank you very much. Oh, we also had a donation earlier today on PayPal. Can you believe it, Steve?
It is your birthday coming up.
We had a lovely donation from Morella. Thank you, Morella, once again for your lovely donation on PayPal. So there are ways of making donations, maybe because my birthday is coming up on Thursday. It is my birthday.
Am I buying anything special for you?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Oh.
Beatrice says that she's got a little tip for mosquitoes or getting rid of them.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to look back while you're talking because I want to know what that is because I'm always being bitten by mosquitoes.
Yes.
All right, I can't. Probably haven't got time to look back. I'd like to know what that tip was.
Could you repeat the tip for the mosquitoes. So could you tell us the best way of avoiding mosquitoes? Because Mr. Steve always gets bitten everywhere, all over his body. There is nowhere where the mosquitoes don't nibble.
They love me. I can't help being attractive, even if it's to mosquitoes. Right, okay. Oh, pre-soak nuts for 12 hours. It'll make it easier to digest.
Ah.
Improves the absorption of minerals.
Don't you sometimes... I remember you recently were eating something and you would soak them in water first.
Prunes.
Prunes. Ugh.
Prunes, which are effectively dried plums. I think prunes are a type of plum, and a lot of them are grown in France. I think Italy. A lot of the ones I get, it says they're from France. And they're very good at making you regular.
Okay.
Keeping you, unblocked. So that's not a life hack. I think everybody knows that prunes are very good at preventing you from getting constipation.
And there it
I
is.
found that to be very effective. But you have to soak them, because otherwise they're too dry and they will probably have the opposite effect.
Yes.
I've bought bags and bags of them recently because there was a good offer on the internet.
This is fantastic. I'm not sure if that is a life hack, but I have one now. Would you like to see my live life hack? Here it is.
A live demonstration.
Ooh, do you ever find that you can't open a new jar, maybe jam or marmalade, something that you have to open, and that the top or the lid is very tight and you can't undo it? I can't undo it. It's too stiff.
You've got invisible jam in that.
Yes, just forget about that. You have to ruin everything, don't
I'm
you?
not ruining anything. I'm just having a laugh. So you're too weak and feeble, Mr. Duncan, to undo the lid on that jam jar.
Well, not just me, but other people might. What are you saying?
I'm joking.
Don't accuse people.
My
of-
mother has that problem.
Yes.
Undoing jam jar tops.
Amongst other things. So, I'm going to show you how to get it off or get it open.
Shall I hold that for you?
No, don't, because I think you're going to open it.
I'm not going to do anything, Mr. Duncan. Don't you trust me?
You can use a rubber glove.
I've seen that before.
Yes, because
What are you going to do, Mr. Duncan?
I'm going to take this finger, and I'm going. Oh no, that's very tempting.
I'll see you next week.
That's very tempting. So here we go. You can use the rubber glove to open the jar, because this will give you extra grip. So you are using the grip from the rubber on the lid,
Oh, yes.
and then it will make it much easier to open.
And access your invisible jam.
Yes. Or maybe you're just keeping some hydrogen in there, you see. You might be keeping some hydrogen in there, and you want to have a quick sniff.
But that is a very good tip. Rubber glove for
Rubber glove.
undoing stiff jam jar lids. The other way you can undo or release the seal is if you tap the edge of the jam jar top with a wooden spoon or just onto the floor, and that will break the seal and make it easy to undo. But then you will have ruined the lid, the metal lid. So that's probably the best idea.
What have you been doing with these rubber gloves?
Cleaning the toilets, Mr. Duncan.
There's something rather ripe.
Yes, you've got to use clean rubber gloves, or you might introduce germs into your jam jar.
But Steve, it's only this finger that smells. What have you been doing? Is this another one of your cures for constipation?
Belarusia puts the lid in hot water for a minute or two. Yes, that would work as well. Or a cotton cloth. But though that is good. And I always worry as well, if you're really straining to get the lid undone, that it will smash the glass and then you'll get cuts. I've seen that happen. That actually has happened. So yes, wearing a rubber glove.
I thought that was a very interesting question. A very interesting subject as well today. That's life hacks. We've never done that before, you see. I've never actually talked about that before. So I thought today we would talk about it. We do have the sentence game coming up shortly.
How lovely. I look forward to that.
The
Sergio says the best protection from mosquitoes is formic acid.
oh,
Formic acid, which, of course, is what ants use to ward off predators. So if you put your handkerchief on an anthill, I think Sergio's joking, but you probably wouldn't want to put formic acid all over your skin. I wonder, actually. I mean, you have to put to get rid of mosquitoes. You have to put that awful. Oh, I'll tell you what I read today. Oh, I'm interrupting myself with another subject.
so how many people are in there?
Many personalities are constrained within my head.
Steve is the only person I know who can actually talk and interrupt himself.
But anti-mosquito creams smell awful, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you go on holiday, to a romantic place with your partner, and then you cover yourself in, I think it's DEET. DEET, isn't it? D-E-E-T.
Steve.
No, I read that, it's gone. It's gone.
Well, that was a great 3 minutes of broadcasting there. That will go down in the history of YouTube as the most interesting moment ever.
What are those other things that bite you? Other things that bite you, other insects, they look a bit like small little spiders. Ticks. Ticks are on the rise. They're on the increase around the world, particularly in Spain, I read today. Lots of ticks because of the increase in temperature, and you can get serious diseases from ticks. So what we want is a life hack on how to get rid of ticks.
Isn't it Lyme's disease?
You can get Lyme's disease, you can get hemorrhagic fever.
You don't want Lyme's
You can
disease.
get all sorts of nasty things from ticks.
Lyme's disease is horrible. You turn green like a lime, I think. We've got the sentence game coming up, Steve.
That's wonderful. Are you all right, Mr. Duncan?
Am I okay?
Are you okay? You
I'm
okay today?
I'm super duper.
Good.
I feel as fit as a butcher's dog.
Just checking.
I'm as fit as a butcher's dog. And that's very fit. Very fit indeed. So we do have the lovely sentence game coming up in a moment.
I look forward to that, and so do certain people, although I haven't seen somebody who's usually on. Maybe they're hiding, keeping themselves quiet, ready to pounce as soon as the first sentence game is revealed.
Good. So we do have the sentence game coming up. I was reading some news stories this morning, Steve. Apparently, people are becoming very angry about something that maybe you share the same feeling. Cyclists. What do you think about cyclists on the road? People who cycle, they ride bicycles.
Well, cyclists are entitled to ride their bikes anywhere, including on the road. I used to cycle everywhere when I was younger. But I think the problem now is that there's more traffic than there ever used to be. And cars have got wider and wider. I think, they're almost, cars are half as wide again now, the average car, than they used to be. Used to be sort of 30 years ago. Cars have just got bigger and bigger. And in the UK, we've got very small roads.
Yes, or some of them are very narrow. They're just like country lanes.
But just the average A road now, the sort of main trunk road,
Okay.
in an average car 30 years ago, you could pass a cyclist very easily without crossing over the central line, the divide between the two lanes. But now, because cars are so big, you can't do that. So you have to wait behind the cyclists until the road is clear before you pull out safely to overtake, so that you don't get too close to the cyclist. I think it's very dangerous. But I don't think there are fatalities every year, particularly in London, from cyclists. But No, I've got no problem.
So what about in your country? What is the attitude in your country towards cyclists? So I suppose the UK is a very interesting example, England especially, because we do have this strange relationship between motor vehicles and cyclists in the sense of quite often they will not get along. They will often have arguments or fights or some sort of disagreement. So there is a very long-running problem with disputes and arguments and fights taking place between people riding bicycles and people driving motor cars. Quite often they all want the same part of the road, especially when you get more than one cyclist. And I think this is one of the big problems here. We often find that there are large groups of people riding bicycles and they will not stay in a narrow line. They will actually spread out across the road and block the road. So I think that's one of the things that people do often complain about with bicycles. So what about you? Do you have an issue in your country? Maybe if you live in a country that has lots of cyclists. And in Asian countries, I know for a fact, I remember when I was I suppose in China is a good example, although many parts of China have now become more developed. So there are fewer bicycles on the road than there used to be. So even in China, cyclists are perceived as something for fitness and also for those who are environmentally conscious, says Iron Man. It is something you often see if you go to London. You will see lots of commuters. They will take a bicycle with them on the train and then they will cycle from the railway station or the tube station to their place of work. So that does happen.
I wonder how healthy it is to cycle in a city or in a town, because you might think that you're getting sort of the cardiovascular exercise, raising your heart rate, but you're breathing in all those horrible fumes which may be cancelling out the health benefit of cycling. I used to cycle to work when I worked many years ago in a hospital. I used to live the other side of town and I used to cycle. It took me about 20 minutes. But when I got there, I stopped doing it in the end because I felt like, we are talking 30 years ago when pollution was a lot worse. Cars are much cleaner now, but nevertheless, I used to feel all my nose, throat was irritated with all the traffic fumes. But of course, we're moving towards banning cars, aren't we, from town centres that burn fossil fuels, so maybe the air will become a lot cleaner.
It is interesting how in certain parts of England you will find there are some towns that are very cyclist friendly. They have lots of special areas where bicycles can ride freely without any fear of being squashed by a car. But of course London is a very different situation, because in London the car is still the master of the road. That is still the most prominent thing that you see, besides buses, of course, as well. So what about in your country? Do people like cyclists? Maybe if you went to a place like Amsterdam,
yes,
where there are many cyclists. I noticed also in Paris, a lot of people using bicycles, and also those little e-bikes or e-scooters as well. So you do see a lot of those in certain places, including London as well.
Christina says that Cambridge, which is a town, is Cambridge a city? I think it's a town, in the UK, is very cycle friendly. I think Oxford is as well.
Yes.
But
and there is a reason for that, because they have a very large student population. So because they have a lot of students there, most students won't drive. They will have bicycles. So that's almost become like a thing that you always see if you go to places like Cambridge or Oxford. You will see lots of people riding bicycles, because a large percentage of the people there are studying at one of the universities.
Nitram asks, is smoking in restaurants and pubs banned in the UK? Yes, it is.
It is.
I can't remember when that first came in. It was many years ago. Sergio talks about the Caspian Sea, Russia. I wonder if Pedro knows about, or Sergio knows about, the Caspian Sea monster, which was a giant Russian, I think it was like a seaplane. We saw a programme about it. I think it's one of the largest seaplanes ever built.
Well, that was built by Russia, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. The Caspian Sea monster. Please tell us, Sergio, if you know about it, because we've seen programmes about it here in the UK. It was gigantic.
Very big. It's a big one. It's a very big plane. Although I have a feeling there might be bigger ones now. I think so. We have the sentence game coming up in a few moments.
Right.
I will now climb off my bicycle. I will dismount. And I will lock my bike safely. And then we will continue now because we have the sentence game coming up. Of course, all you have to do, it's very easy. All you have to do is spot the missing words. Are you ready to play? Today we have words connected to tips, hints, and helpful advice. Yes, it's time for the sentence game.
Well, we often give hints if people are struggling on the live chat to get the sentence game, to get the correct words. We often give little hints, don't we?
That's
we
it.
often give little hints to help people to get the answers.
Yes. So today I might give you some hints. So yes, we can use the word hint to mean clue as well. If you want to lead a person towards the answer, you can use the word hint as well. So here we go. We are back with the sentence game, and you will see that it is slightly different today. I've made some slight changes to the way we display them. Nothing too big, but slightly different.
Change.
So here is today's first sentence game coming up right now. Oh.
What's going on, Mr. Duncan? It's all different.
Well, it's slightly different in the fact that you can see the number of missing letters.
Ah.
So if there's 3 missing letters in the word, then you can see 3. See?
Oh, I see. So we don't have to necessarily look underneath.
That's
Right.
it.
You're something on the something horse. Something came something for me.
So this is talking about hints and tips. Words connected to those particular things. So these are all missing words. All you have to do is tell me what the missing words are. It is a complete sentence and it is connected to today's topic. It is.
How about riding a horse, says Iron Man? Well, yes, you could ride a horse. It's a bit messy, I think, with all the poop.
Yes, you don't see many people riding horses nowadays, and they can also be a menace on the road. So there are many accidents involving horses being ridden by the person that is sitting on them. And so that can happen. That can happen. There have been many horrible accidents on the road. People riding their horses on the highway.
South Korea, says Hussein, have separate roads or cycle lanes for cyclists, which is, of course, keeps people very safe.
Yes, and they are being introduced here in England.
Yes, with much controversy, because if we build a cycle lane here, it means it's going to take a road or a lane away from the traffic, because obviously we can't. The roads are already in place here in most of the UK, so it's very difficult to build a cycle lane without disrupting the flow of traffic.
We have some answers coming through. Rosa, thank you very much for your guess. That's good. So we have some answers coming through.
Oh, Sergio says we can watch somebody on YouTube who filmed the Caspian Sea monster.
Oh,
I think we've probably seen this.
Yes.
We've certainly seen a programme about it.
it's a big one. It's a big plane.
It's a very big plane. And there's a watch, isn't there?
Oh, yes, Steve.
Anyway, right.
We're getting answers coming through now.
Yeah, that's good, yes, yeah.
I have to steer Mr. Steve sometimes back onto the track.
Your tip could be the first word
Yes,
No,
it looks good. It looks good.
on the... right, I'm not sure that we've got anything...
If you are silent for more than 5 seconds, YouTube disconnects you. No, not really. But imagine that. Imagine if it did. You're something...
The second word isn't force,
No.
because that doesn't make grammatical sense.
Hmm.
Ah, yes. Could be final.
Yes.
Could be final.
So imagine something that you can sometimes maybe... okay, I will give you a clue. I will give you a hint. Something you might gamble on. So you are gambling on the outcome of something. So that's related to it. So maybe a person will make a suggestion for you to gamble in a certain way. I can't say anything else because then I will start using the words that are hidden. This is a hard one.
Well,
really.
yes. Maori, I think, has got 3 of them.
It doesn't matter if you
So
don't.
does Nitram.
Don't worry if you don't get them. If you don't get them, don't worry. It's all right. It's not a test. It's not an exam.
Lewis has got at least 2 of them. Yes.
Now-
I think AD may have it.
Interesting. Yes, interesting. Yes, it looks like Adi or AD has got it. Yes, that looks quite good. Yes, and Richard as well. Richard and AD or Adi. Well done. Yes, that's pretty good. I think that's as near as we are going to get today. So let's have the answer, shall we? Here it is coming up right now. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. And the answer is bing. Your tip on the final horse race came through for me. So this is an interesting sentence. So if something comes through for you, it means it went the way that you expected or the way that you wanted it to happen. Something comes through. Something happens, and it happens in your favour. So something you gain, something you get. Of course, the tip is advice. So maybe someone says, there's a good horse running today at Ascot. I would put some money on that horse. I think it's going to win. So that is the tip. And the final horse race, of course, is the last horse race of the day. Your tip on the final horse race came through for me, which means your tip was good.
Your suggestion on the name of the horse that might win, somebody said to you, whispered in your ear, put your money on the old nag at 3 o'clock. And it came through. So you won, and you earned, you won the bet.
That's it.
Quite a few people got that right. I'm just going to pick up my pen top.
I'd rather not,
Mr. Duncan.
because you keep fiddling with it all the time. I don't know what it is with Stevie. He just can't stay still.
I'm staying still.
Yeah, I keep seeing Steve. He's always playing with things.
Well, I like to fiddle.
There's no answer to that. There is definitely no answer to that. Here we go. Here's another one, Steve. We've got time, I hope, for 2 more. Here is another sentence game. Are you ready? Here it is. Ooh. Does something have any something ideas to something, this something? So again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 missing words. And you can see the number of missing letters in each word. We are trying to find a solution to something. So this particular sentence is asking for a suggestion or a tip. They are looking for help as some sort of suggestion or idea. As you can see there, the word idea is there.
Well, I think it's already been solved, Mr. Duncan.
Really?
Yes. I think Nitram and AD have already, in fact, a lot of people I think have got correct answers to this particular
yes
sentence game. So
if I said that the word that you are using is not the right one, even though it fits perfectly and it is suitable, there is actually another word you can use.
Which word are you referring to?
The second missing word.
Right.
Yes. Better is good. And yes, it does work. But there is another word that can also be used as well. So when we are talking about maybe a good idea, there is a certain word we can use to show that that idea is very good. Very good. Maybe a person who is clever, we can often use that word as well.
Vittoria might have come up with something.
Vittoria. Oh, Vittoria. Yes, you are right. Yes, it looks as if, I tell you something, you are very good today. You are very good at this. You are very good at the sentence game. Here it is. Here's the answer. And you will see that there are 2 possibilities for the second missing word. Bing! Does anyone have any bright ideas to solve this problem? So a good suggestion, a good idea is a bright idea, a good idea. But of course you can also use the word better as well.
Yes, you can use the word better if somebody's already suggested something.
Yes.
And you don't think it's very good, or you want other suggestions. So if you're going to put the word better in there, it would suggest, does anyone have any better ideas? It would suggest that you've already had a conversation and some people have come up with a suggestion or suggestions. Whereas using the word bright in there is assuming you're asking it for the first time, aren't you? You're asking how to solve this problem for the first time. Does anyone have any bright ideas to solve this problem?
Yes. So we have no ideas.
We've only just started thinking about it.
That's it. We've only just started looking for the idea. We need a good idea. We need a bright idea to solve this problem.
Very common way of making that suggestion about trying to solve a problem with something.
I think we can have one more and then we're going.
Right.
I can't believe how quickly this has gone. I don't know. Have you noticed 2 hours goes by very quickly?
It only seems like an hour and a half to me.
I something that something you something to me and it actually something. Oh. So we have again 4 missing words and you can see the numbers of the missing letters. And this is all about giving advice or maybe suggesting something or saying, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? It is a hint. It is a type of tip. You are giving someone a suggestion because you want to help them. Any idea?
My screen's gone blank, Mr. Duncan.
Has it really?
I don't know what that means.
I think actually, let's have a look. No, we're still working everywhere else.
Good.
Let me just... I don't quite know what you've done here, Steve.
Nothing.
Oh, you've done nothing.
I've done absolutely nothing. Are we still live? Please tell us. Are we still live?
Oh, don't worry, we are still live
That's good.
because mine is still working. I don't know what you've done, Steve.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We're nearly at the end. Oh, Mr. Duncan's got rid of the live chat. I can't even see the live chat anymore.
How strange.
It's nothing I've done.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Maybe you can look at mine.
Oh, it's come back, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, has it come back?
Right, here we go. It's all right, Mr. Duncan. I'll just, Oh, what have you done? What do you do, Mr. Duncan?
I don't know what's happening here. Very strange. Maybe we lost the signal briefly.
Can you still see us and hear us is what we want to know.
There we go.
Right.
How's that?
Right, we've got suggestions coming in.
That was an interesting moment of time. Adele is going. See you soon, Adele. Don't forget, I'm back with you on Wednesday, and it will be the day before my birthday on Wednesday. I will be very excited, I think so, because I am wondering what Mr. Steve will buy for me. Ooh.
Adi, again. We have a new star in our midst.
Really?
Yes. Adi's getting very clever at this game. Is that close, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, very good.
It
yes.
certainly fits.
Yes.
Is it what Mr. Duncan wanted, though?
That is very good. I like it. I like this today. You see how slowly these answers will come more easily as you improve your English. The more you listen, the more you get involved, and over time you will find that these things will become much easier. And even if you don't know the answer to this, when I reveal the answer, it will give you more ideas and more words and sentences to learn. Very good.
But Maori has also got some of those as well.
And Inaki.
Yes, look at that. Jimmy has given Adi an emoji sign. Probably, I can't see the emoji sign, but I presume it means well done. Adele's going, thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Thank you, Hussein, for your birthday greeting in advance. It is my birthday on Thursday, and don't forget I will be back with you on Wednesday. So this Wednesday I will be with you live on YouTube, and then it is my birthday the following day. Ooh, I'm excited, to be honest.
I wouldn't be too excited, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, okay. I will keep my expectations very low. The 12th of August, yes. Remar or Remai. The 12th of August is my birthday. And that is almost it. We will give the answer to the final sentence game. Thank you, Mr. Cockerell, for that. The final sentence game and the answer coming up right now. Bing! Oh, I tried that idea you suggested to me, and it actually worked.
Well done, Adi.
Yes.
You've got it really without any help from anybody else at all.
Yes. So if you try something, maybe a person will make a suggestion. They will say, have you ever tried this? Try that. If you have a problem with something, try that. It might work. And then maybe if it does work, you will say, I tried that idea you suggested to me, and it actually worked.
Yes, I couldn't get the lid off my jam jar. I tried the idea that you suggested to me using a rubber glove, and it actually worked. So it smells of rubber in here.
I still don't know where this glove has been. I don't think I want to know.
Just been cleaning out the toilets, Mr. Duncan.
Mm.
So well done to everybody who got that today. Belarusia says, I tried, but my brain doesn't work. That's because you're not feeling too well. You're feeling under the weather. Under the weather. You've got a cold, but you're still watching us. I think that's amazing.
Sergio.
In your sick bed.
Sergio, I think you've made a spelling mistake there.
Where? Who's made a spelling mistake?
Sergio. If you look.
Have a look.
Oh, you're going off now. There.
Right.
I think the word you're looking for is worked. Worked. Oh, Jimmy.
It's amazing what people are doing when they're watching us.
Thank you, Jimmy, for your lovely, oh my goodness, a lovely donation there. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Birthday present for Mr. Duncan.
Is that for my birthday? Thank you very much.
How lovely.
You're amazing. Well, guess what? You are amazing as well. Thank you very much. I don't know what to say.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, Panda Gaming, as well. Thank you also, Carlos.
Thank you to everyone. The wonderful community that we have here.
Carlos just said, Mr. Duncan, I'm trying not to say this to you, but you are getting a bit fat. But I'm sorry. I gave up.
Is that a sentence game?
I'm not sure. Maybe that will be next week's sentence game. Words and phrases connected to Mr. Duncan getting fat. I don't know. Am I really getting fat? I don't think so.
I'm not going to say anything.
I haven't got fat. I'm going to weigh myself. When I finish this live stream, I'm going to go into the bathroom and I'm going to weigh myself to see how heavy I am. So I think at the moment I'm about 12, maybe 12 stone 8.
What's that in kilograms?
I don't know, but that's not too bad for my height. You know, I'm over 6 foot. So, you know, not that it looks like that here. It looks like Mr. Steve and myself are the same height, but we're not. And there is a reason. There is a reason for this illusion. And maybe one day I will tell you what it is.
It's Mr. Duncan's wearing high heel shoes.
And, well, it goes with my painted toes, you see.
That's true.
My varnished toenails. That's
yes,
the reason.
Beatrice, thank you for your welcome words about us having an afternoon tea. We are back to tea cakes today because I bought some yesterday.
Well, can I just say now?
It's £1 for 4.
I don't want one.
Don't you?
I'm not very keen on them now.
He's gone off. If you go off something, it means you don't like them anymore. He's gone off. Tea cakes.
I don't like them anymore. I used to like them, but I tell you what I'm having today. I'm going to have a big crumpet. I've got some lovely big crumpets. So I'm going to put one of those into the toaster, and then I will put a little bit of butter and maybe a little bit of marmalade on top. So that's what I'm having anyway.
Well, I'll have 2 tea cakes then.
Are you having anything nice to eat? Are you having something delicious? Oh, by the way, we had a very nice vegan, or should I say vegetarian meal the other night.
Oh, we did.
Here it is. Here it is. Look at that.
Oh, it's making me hungry.
So that's what I made the other night for Mr. Steve. A beautiful vegetable burger. Look at that. So there's beans, there's spices, there's also eggplant and some feta cheese as well. Look at that. Oh, you know what, Steve? I could eat that right now.
So could I, and maybe, we could have it tonight. Panda's seen all your videos.
Hello, Panda. Where are you watching?
Iraq.
Hello to Iraq. Hi, Iraq. And thank you very much for joining me today on this lovely Sunday. Even though the weather is a little strange at the moment here in the UK, we are having some very strange weather indeed.
No, Ramey, there is no meat in those burgers. That is pure vegetable.
Yes.
Pure vegetable burgers. Oh, and they're gorgeous. Right. Lovely to see you all today, and I'll see you in a few minutes. I'm making myself 2 tea cakes because Mr. Duncan doesn't want the other one, and I'll see you all next week after Mr. Duncan's birthday. Please help Mr. Duncan with his birthday. I haven't got him anything. I haven't got him a present, so please send him a present, please.
Oh.
Mr. Duncan. Right, bye-bye.
And there is Mr. Steve. He's gone. So now I'm just wondering what is happening with my birthday. Has Mr. Steve got anything for my birthday? I am now wondering what is happening there. Thank you, Steve, for joining us today. And yes, Steve now has been a regular guest on my live stream for 4 years. Steve has been joining me here. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? Thank you very much for your company today. I've really enjoyed today's live stream. Can I also say once again thank you very much to Jimmy from Hong Kong for your lovely donation on the Super Chat. And also I would like to say a big thank you as well to Morella once again for your lovely donation through PayPal. If you want to send one, maybe you would like to send a little birthday gift, because don't forget I do everything here for free. I do not charge anything for my live streams or my recorded lessons, and you are welcome to leave a donation if you want. Thank you very much for your company. Thank you, Monicia, Vitas, Lewis. Thank you very much to Willian. Also, a big thank you to Belarusia. I am having rice with tomato sauce today and a little bit of meat. Okay, Claudia, I hope you enjoy that, and I hope you feel better soon. Get well soon. Thank you very much. Shirin. Hello, Shirin. Thanks for joining me. Nice to see you back as well. Zutika Nitram. Also, Jamelia. Oh, crumpets sound super tasty. Guess what? You are right. They are very tasty, in fact. Lovely, delicious, especially with some butter and a little bit of marmalade. So that's what I'm going to have after this. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. We have been talking about hints, tips, and also life hacks as well. So that's what we've been doing today. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. It's been lovely having you here today. Thank you also to Mr. Steve. Thank you, Sandra, Monicia. I've enjoyed being here. Join me again on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time. Yes, I will be with you on Wednesday live as well. And of course, Wednesday will be the day before my birthday. So I think I will be especially excited for that. Thank you, Van Noons. Thank you also to Sandra again. Hello, Van Noons. I'm sorry to tell you that I am about to go. You've joined me just as I'm saying goodbye. Thank you, Sandra. See you later. It's a beautiful day now. The sun has come out and I'm feeling very happy and rather excited about the forthcoming week. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and also the beginning of your week. Have a super time. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.